So let's kick on with our £0 to £1 million worth of sales and how we did that in a very short space of time. I'd done this by the age of 22. The business was turning over £1 million a year by the time I was 22, so it didn't take me very long to do. And I think actually it's quite difficult to build a business to turn £1 million a year. What I talk about at Entrepreneurs Network when we're coaching people, I said there's things in business that are easy difficult and difficult. And I think it's easy difficult, so it's not super duper easy, but it's easy difficult. It's an easy difficult task to get £1 million worth of sales. So let's have a look now. Number one, the first thing that I always like to remind people when they're setting up a business, wherever they want to go, whether it's the first million or the first sale or thinking way into the future, is having an end in mind. The good people that have an end in mind, a powerful vision of where they want to get to when the business is finished, is the people that can really deliver great things for their organisation. This is so crucial. And I want to talk you through the steps of what I did. So I've just drawn this out. Maybe you guys could do a little plan for you on how this might work for you. See, I was very lucky that I knew what success looked like for me, and I've just put down some of the things. I wanted to be a national brand, I wanted to own zoos, theme parks, venues and visitor attractions right from a very young age as a teenager. Now, what I didn't do then was give up, because I knew that when I was 16, 17, 18, I couldn't go straight into owning a zoo or a farm park or a theme park or a visitor attraction. I knew there would be some steps to success, but everything that I did was one step closer to getting to my ultimate vision for what I wanted for my business. Now, I think this is absolutely crucial. You want to make sure that the smaller stuff you're doing is a step in the right direction to the bigger stuff that you wanted to do. So let's look at my journey. I started off working as a sole trader down the beginning. So I started off as a children's entertainer and entertaining at visitor attractions that I didn't own, entertaining at children's birthday parties, entertaining at family fun days, and that gave me some experience in dealing with customers, actually billing people, getting paid for stuff. I bought a van from that sort of stuff, and that got me some stuff in the bag, but it was the good learning for the bigger stuff that was going to come later, and I had that planned at the very beginning. I think that's absolutely crucial. I then took some of this fast pound income, so money was coming in really fast, and then I invested some of that into building properties, or not building, buying properties to rent out. So I took some of my income and invested most of it into buying properties, and sacrificed and lived quite a frugal lifestyle in my young teens, even though I was earning some serious amount of cash. I was earning about £1,500 a week doing kids parties when I was 16, 17, 18, DJing as well, and I invested and bought my first house when I was 18 years old in Brentwood in Essex, and then I rented that straight out, and I was living with a girlfriend in their house, and then I moved into my nan's, and then I bought another house in Rayleigh and I rented that out too. These are in Essex, and I started building this property portfolio because I knew that I needed some assets to use as leverage to the bank to help me start building my properties and my bigger businesses up here. And I was doing this when I was 16, 17, 18, 19. I had that plan in process and going up the steps. Then I took this entertainment sole trader business, and then I started building a management team over here. And we built an agency hiring out children's entertainers, and we started doing events and equipment hire. So we had the property, this was the slow pounds, and then we started building more fast pounds. So what fast pounds is what I call income gang. So more income was coming in from here and here. Then we invested that money and the slow pounds and all three into building our first venue, which I did when I was 21 years old. And I took my management team in. So Aaron, who's still our MD of our company now, he joined me when I was 21, and we built this here. And then over time, then we took those venues and all the expertise we had there to go and build bigger venues like farm parks, and we got a little theme park in Eastbourne. But it was the step process of doing the things in the beginning that was so crucial. And I made sure that the first steps were all the little steps going to the big steps. What I didn't do, I wasn't going to go and be a sole trader as an electrician or a plumber, because I didn't have a vision to build an electrician or a plumbing business. I wanted to build an entertainment brand, a family entertainment brand. So it was better for me to do that. That was my steps to success. If I wanted to build a national plumbing company, I'll be an apprentice plumber first. That would be my first steps. Then I'll be plumber working on my own. Then I get a van, employ a plumber, and blah, blah, blah. And check out Charlie Mullins from Plimlico Plumbers. That's exactly how he did it and built his multi-million-pound organisation. It's all about making sure that you've got an end in mind and taking the first steps towards that end in mind. Okay, so now next thing I think that's really important about success is this phrase, one of my favourite phrases: if you can't manage stress, then you cannot manage success. If you cannot manage stress, then you cannot manage success. And I learned that at a very young age, that I was able to deal with lots of stress that most people can't deal with. And when I have very stressful times, I can usually deal with the most amount of stress and deal with it in a day, and then I'm back to normal the next day, or at the very worst case 2 or 3 days, and I'm back to normal. So I can deal with what I know that most people just wouldn't even entertain to be able to deal with, and I think that's really important. And from a very young age, at 20 years old, I borrowed £500,000 to open our first venue, and I could deal with borrowing £500,000 from 21 different people to go and build our first venue, and took on lease. I mean, I was taking on commitments that went way past the £500,000. I took on a 10-year lease that was personally guaranteed against my properties. I could have lost everything, but I managed it, and I understood that if I wanted to be successful, I've got to manage the stress of dealing with those things. And I do that every day, even in a bigger business right now. So it's actually having really good stress management, I think, is also a real key to managing a bigger business. If you can't manage stress, then you're definitely not going to be able to manage the success that comes with business, because more money to manage. Turnover takes so much management. If you start turning £1 million in sales, you've got more to manage. Forget about the profit, you've got more to manage. And then when you've got the profit, you've got to think, oh, what am I going to do with this profit? It needs to be, how are we going to grow it? How are we going to invest it back in, etc., etc. So if you can't manage stress, then you can't manage success. Very true. Now, which comes round to this really fantastic phrase in building a business from 0 to 1 million. In quality thinking time is absolutely crucial. I really try very hard to find time to really think. If that means going off on my own, going for a walk, and really putting decent quality thinking in how we're going to solve problems, how we're going to find solutions to problems, how you're going to manage your state so your state is in the best possible way. Make sure that you're thinking about the stuff that you need to invest time into learning, and finding really good quality thinking time is absolutely crucial in building an amazing business. Craig's asked a question here: best way to market your business on budget when starting out? Craig, when I started out in 2005, 6 and 7, it was nowhere near as easy to market yourself on a budget right now. If you want to market yourself on a budget, what you need to do is get yourself an iPhone. Hopefully, Craig, you've got a smartphone or an iPhone, and do a daily vlog about your business and what you're doing. Do that for 24 months, and if you do it every single day, even after 6 to 12 months, you'll start seeing the results. You'll build a personal brand, and that will really help grow your business. Good quality content marketing on a consistent daily basis is a really good thing to do. It doesn't have to be someone following you around like I do with Chudders and our backstage business, but you can do great quality content marketing with the iPhone that you've got, and put them on platforms: Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube and Facebook. The platforms are there, and if you're consistent about it and do it every single day, that will really help. Right. Next thing, when you're building a business from 0 to 1 million, this phrase is the phrase that I believe is the ultimate secret of success in business is entrepreneurship plus management equals success. You understand that there are two types of DNA that runs a fantastic organisation, whether this be a business, whether it be a school, whether it be a religion, whether it be a charity. There's an element of leadership which comes from the entrepreneur, and the leadership stuff is thinking, quarter to quarter, year to year, decade to decade, 5 years to 5 years, and generation to generation. The management side of the business is the people that are managing second to second, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, week to week, month to month, and then possibly quarter to quarter. So it's understanding the two different sets of DNA here. If you're the entrepreneur and you're the leader, the smartest thing you can do to help get your business from 0 to 1 million in sales is invest in a right-hand man or a left-hand lady, a decent quality manager as fast as you can. So what I did is I took zero salary from the business and paid and invested into management throughout my whole career, finding great management that can help you run the business so that you can go and build the business and find the right opportunities, raise the funding, do the big thinking stuff. See, if you're doing the big thinking, someone needs to be doing the detail. In effect, this person is on the business and this person is in the business. The terrible thing about that phrase, you got to be on your business and not in your business, what someone needs to remind ourselves is you need to be on the business, but make sure you've got someone in the business. And that's absolutely crucial. So give you some real clarity of what I mean here is this person is the head teacher and this person is the teacher. I want to try and talk about when you're running a school. Imagine if you took all the teachers out of the school and you just had a head teacher. Imagine if you took the head teacher out of the school and you just had teachers. It's really important that there's a great leader, entrepreneur in the business and a fantastic manager, a yin and a yang, and when you fuse the two together, then success starts to happen. So you've got to invest in management, good quality management, the best that you can afford, the best that you can get hold of. And another phrase for these people will be talent, making sure that you're finding the best talented management into your business so they can run it, so that you can continue to go and build it. What I did personally, I'm not saying it's for everyone, is I sacrificed myself earning any money out of the business for a good number of years so that the business could afford management. And then I had done 7 days a week. I would go and entertain at the weekends, and that's how I brought in my income. And then even some of that I put back into the business. I lived a frugal lifestyle for quite a number of years to really get the business to where I wanted to get it to go. So that's one of the definite things that I've done, and I've studied lots of successful entrepreneurs. They live a frugal lifestyle and they invest in management, and it's a very smart thing to do. I look at Entrepreneurs Network. I've been running this organisation for 2 years. All the cash that we have generated has gone back into management, gone back into team, employing videographers and people to run the business, so that we can go out there and continue to allow the business to breathe for a number of years, and then in 5 years time we'll really start seeing the benefits because we've invested into management and team. Okay, so next thing that I've always invested a lot of time in understanding and learning is marketing. It's so important that we read as many books as we can on marketing, watch YouTube videos on marketing, and understand the best marketing that can help us grow our business, and understand that marketeers ruin everything. So what do I mean when I say that? You used to read the newspaper years ago, the local newspaper, and then there's tons and tons of marketing in there, and then the newspaper doesn't get as fun to read anymore. And then they created the radio, and we loved listening to radio with all the music. Then the marketeers got on there and put all the adverts on there, and then TV, then the marketeers got hold of TV, and then you've got the pre-rolls on YouTube, and then you've got Facebook full of adverts. So you want to make sure that you're understanding the newest trends that come out, and at the moment they used to come out only once every decade or once every 2 decades. Now we're getting new trends on a 2 and 3 year basis. Instagram wasn't important like it is now. now, 3 years ago. Now it's really important that people invest time in Instagram. YouTube is bigger than it was 5 years ago, 3 years ago. LinkedIn now has become more and more prevalent than it was 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And you've got to understand where the marketing trends are moving to and making sure that you're doing the best things. You know, for example, email and pay-per-click were the biggest things for the lowest cost in terms of getting a customer 10 years ago. And now that's got more expensive. But, you know, with GDPR coming back in, where emails are getting harder again, actually, that could be an opportunity to say, hang on a sec, loads of people's lists have really diminished. Now, if we can start again, people are going to get less emails now. Maybe they're going to start taking notice of emails again. So it's really important that you're understanding marketing. You understand that you've got to have a call to action in there, that you understand that we're not marketing for brand when we're building a business that's small to £1 million worth of sales. We're marketing for sales, and the difference between brand marketing and sales marketing is something that we really teach at the Entrepreneurs Network. There is a big difference between marketing a brand and marketing for sales. When you're a small business, your marketing should always be to get sales, and then any brand building that you get on the back of it should be a lovely byline, not the main event. That's very, 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 very important. Right, we've got another question here. Let's go. I'll take my tie off, I think, Chuds. I'm getting a little bit hot in here.
Are there things to help develop your stress management, or will it just come from time and experience?
I think stress management's a DNA thing. Certain people's DNA can manage stress more than others. 2 week rule, though, that I always tell people, that within 2 weeks, usually problems are sorted out. So if you can think like that and think, God, in 2 weeks it's going to be sorted out anyway, why are we getting stressed about it? So that's my little thing for dealing with success. In my book, The Millionaire Climb, there's a whole chapter on bounceability. But great entrepreneurs have a way of bouncing back to the top when things knock them down constantly, and that is a natural DNA thing. And that's why I'm quite honest about this. If you cannot manage stress, you can't manage the success of a business. So if you haven't got the natural DNA, you need to sort that out before you can really go and build something, because it is very stressful and very hard building a business. Yes.
Okay, so we've got another question from Christopher, who is a takeaway owner. His annual turnover is just below the VAT limit on 1 day trading a week. If he goes over then to 20%, if he goes over that, it's 20% to the VAT man, which would hurt his cash flow. Any ideas? He would like to trade 5 days a week.
Christopher, so many small business owners go through this. Oh, I want to avoid the VAT level. Let me tell you what the government are going to do. I'm pretty sure of this. They've been talking about it for the last 3 years. They're thinking about bringing the VAT level down to £20,000 per year. If you Google that, you'll see that. You're going to be in the VAT limit one day anyway. It hurts everyone when they go through their cash flow. Look, if you want a lifestyle business and you just want to keep and you're happy with where you're at, stay where you're at. But if you want to grow your business and go past it, then VAT is coming, mate. And I pay lots and lots of VAT. I hate VAT in our businesses because we can't claim it back, because like your business, you're buying probably all your food non-vatable, and then you're turning it into hot food to take away, so that's why you're paying VAT. You can't do nothing about it. It's up to you though. Do you want to grow your business and build something that's worth value at the end of your career, or do you want to build a profitable job? Because what you got there at the moment, Christopher, is something no one wants to buy when you're finished with it. They're going to be selling a profitable job. But if you start paying your VAT and profitability, in 5-10 years time, you've built a nice business that's paying some tax and is now a business. And people want to buy businesses. They don't want to buy jobs. And that's what I have a crying shame for me when I speak to business owners. They invest all their time in building their businesses that are really just jobs, not businesses. And then when they want to exit and retire, they haven't pension planned enough, and no one wants to buy their job. So it's much better, Christopher, to have a little bit of short-term pain, which will, hurt your cash flow. But, everyone, one of the big phrases that we always say at Entrepreneurs Network is a Bill Gates phrase. Everyone overestimates what can be done in a year, but underestimates what can be done in 10 years. My experience shows 10 years, and you ask anyone that's older than you, 10 years flies by very, very quickly. And think about investing into your pension. Your business, your company is the best pension that you can build. It's the most tax efficient pension you can build. So let's build a business and not build a job. However, if you're happy with your lot and you're happy with what you got, stay as you are. But if you want to build something bigger, then you know the answer. You're going to have to pay some VAT. Sorry. So understanding marketing, the right marketing with the call to action, with an offer, understanding headings. I mean, I got very quick. I think it's really important to just what small business owners do compared to people that understand marketing is they copy a big company like Coca-Cola, and you'll see Coca-Cola will do a, you know, this will be one of their brands. They'll go Coca-Cola, and you'll see it. And they'll just put that on the side of a lorry or something. And well, that's fine if you've invested billions into building a brand and you want to remind people for a brand. But say we're not Coca-Cola or Apple. I mean, I've seen an Apple logo, an Apple billboard, and they just put a picture of an iPhone there and say the new X. And that's it. No call to action or anything. It's brand build marketing, which works when you're doing it on a massive scale. But if you're a small business owner, when we design branding, marketing and leaflets, we're looking for this, a C2A, a call to action. This is so important. This is what that will really help you get your sales going. So if you've got a leaflet that you're producing, first of all, we want to be the 80-20 rule. This is what I use. 80% heading, 20% content. We want a really good heading. So this over here would be, I'm trying to give it, so let's use Christopher's takeaway thing. Buy one, get one free pizza. And then I'd want a testimonial over here. Testimonials are really good, especially when people are picking up marketing, if they can see testimonials. And there's loads of ways you can do testimonials. Trustpilot, Google reviews, TripAdvisor, or actually from a celebrity or customers that live around where you are, or if a school has given you, or a local authority, or a bigger business has given you a testimonial. So we always want a testimonial. We do then, maybe we can just put some bullet point headings here. And I want the heading to be prevalent, and then I want a call to action this week only, for example. So that's just a very quick basic thing into the difference. Now, what most small business owners do is they tell everything they do. Especially, I was talking to Chudders about this, who was driving along, was looking at vans the other day, and they put their landline, their mobile, their email address on a van. I mean, when you're driving along at 70 miles an hour, I mean, say you occasionally do 85 miles an hour, which we would never do, but 70 miles an hour, and you see the email address, the landline, the mobile number, the Facebook, your Twitter handle, your YouTube, and the website, and then the logo, and then you have to try and work out what they do because they've stuffed all this stuff on a van. So really important that you make sure your heading is prevalent so that people can understand what your heading is, because we're living in a very noisy marketing world. If you imagine this is happening all the time, you just want to make sure in that split second that your heading is shining bright. That's why 80% heading, 20% content. What most people do is 80% content, 20% heading. They really fire in loads and loads of content. We do this, we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this. We'll make love to you as well. They do everything. And then people are just so confused and then they forgot. But don't forget the call to action as well. Very, very important. If you can build a membership business and make customers feel like member, then you don't have to work as hard to get them to return to you every single month. And I think that's a massive key difference to what I did. So that's why I love day nurseries, because our day nurseries, we do a good job. The customer stays for 4 years. We do just as much work to find a customer that buys from you once as to one that stays with you and pays you every month for 4 years. That's why I love property. You buy a property and the customer stays with you and rents every single month. But one of the key differences is building a business where you can be a membership business. Now, one of my favorite membership businesses that will make you think, maybe I can be a membership business is Costco. It's a wholesaler here in the UK, and I know they've got them in the US as well. But Costco customers feel like members, and that's why they return to Costco more regularly than they do other shops. Nectar for Sainsbury's, Clubcard for Tesco's. They've made their customers feel like members and brings loyalty into the business. And we done that very much so when we done our entertainment business. That was once a year customers, and we tried to think, right, okay, what can we do to get them to buy more? So we opened our own venue so they could come on a weekly, monthly basis, and we opened it up as a membership business, but leveraged off of that early brand to build the membership business. So I think if you want to get to 0 to 1 million sales, and you want to do it in a quick space of time, try not to build a business where you start from 0 each month. Now, I'm not saying that starting from 0 businesses haven't done well. For example, cars, that's a classic thing. You know, everyone's got cars. It does work. I'm just saying, for me, it's easier if you really want to get going to find a business where when you find a customer, they repeat regularly. And that's a little top tip from me. I think we've got a new question.
We have. So, Phil has asked, have you ever bought an existing business as a quick way to expand? What's the largest multiple you would pay for a related business that would fit into your portfolio?
Phil, about 12 times I've bought businesses. I start from 0 and go up. I've bought businesses for no money. I've even bought businesses where the seller has given me money to take it over. I've done that a couple of times. So yes, I've repeated that tons and tons of times. I think we've got some videos on that, haven't we, Chuds? Buying businesses with no money down. No, we haven't got, but we've definitely done seminars and webinars about that. It's a big thing that Entrepreneurs Network teaches. If you stay along to the end of the webinar and you want to come to one of our events, I'll tell you how you can do that. And I teach that as a whole session. It's a bit long to do that right now. I've done that multiple times, and it's a big way of how I've grown my business. This book here, my first book, The Millionaire Clown, there's a whole chapter in there on how to buy businesses with little or no capital. And one of my big things is making sure that you fold them into your existing empire. And that's a real smart thing to do. Okay, so this is a big thing. You can find recurring business models. What I'm not a big fan of when I talk about recurring, I don't just talk about, you know, setting up an online e-commerce thing where people just pay you for a digital product each month. I am a massive fan of putting this into brick and mortar businesses. That's where my experience lies. Okay, someone's asked, Toy, will there be a recording of this? I'm not sure on that, but if you, we'll be putting it out onto YouTube. So yes, the answer is yes, it'll be out on YouTube. If you hit subscribe, if you go, guys, if you're watching on here and you want to learn more from me all the time, one of the best things that you guys can all do is get onto YouTube and search James Sinclair and hit the subscribe button. We'll know if you're doing it because Chudders can see the subscribes coming in. Maybe we'll give you a little shout out and we'll send you a free magazine if you hit subscribe, because that way you can watch the recording of this when it comes out in a few days time, and you'll be able to see all my latest videos, and we're putting videos out every day. So hit subscribe on YouTube, and there's a little bell on there as well. If you hit the bell, then it will notify you when we put out brand new content to help your business learning. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next thing, one of the things that I think is really important that entrepreneurs need to do is learn how to raise capital, because when you go for a capital raise, you'll get asked questions that will help you run a more efficient business. So even if you don't get the capital raise, the questions that banks, investors, venture capitalists, all these guys are going to be asking you will help you run a more efficient business. I've raised millions and millions of pounds through property deals, through raising funding to buy businesses and improve businesses, a number of ways, and I've invested tons and tons of time in understanding what banks want, venture capitalists want, the stuff that you need. It's what we teach at the Entrepreneurs Network for our members. It's a really important thing that you have to do, and it should be something that you really invest time into learning. Look, there's tons and tons of money in the world, and people want to lend money to people in business as long as the idea and the expertise and the management are there. One of the key things when it comes to raising money is expertise. It's this word here. Expertise is so important. You can't expect to raise money if you are not the expert in what you do. You've got no management experience of what you do. Everyone thinks, oh, I haven't got security. No. It's not about security. Security is only one aspect of it. It's management first, serviceability, then security. If you're a bank manager, an investor, or a venture capitalist, you're looking at the expertise and the management experience before you look at about how they're going to pay me back and how they're going to afford to pay me back and have they got security. So if you are not an expert in what you do, or you've got no experience in what you do, then don't expect the money to come through to you. Now, It's very important though, is you can, when we do that steps to success to get where you want to, say you want to be a property investor, if you was an estate agent and you was a mortgage broker first of all, or you was a builder and you've got some experience of this rung of the property, as you go up, then you can start getting the banks going, well, yeah, he understands the property market, he's read loads of books on property, he can answer all the questions on property, etc, etc. So it's really important that you've got some base level experience. Might not be the experience thing that you do. For example, let me give you another example of this. Say you want to open a restaurant, you go to the bank, I want to open a restaurant, they go, why? And they say, well, because I think I'll be really good at running a restaurant. What they want to hear is say, well, I've been running a catering company from home and I've done £150,000 worth of sales, I've paid some bills, I know some dynamics of business, now I need some money to take what I've learned in that catering company, I'm going to put that into my restaurant, so there's going to be some base turnover there already. I am a caterer already, now give me a chance. That's the sort of steps to success in raising capital. It's being able to say that I've got some success already, now give me a punt. Very, very important. Okay, so let's keep going. Being an ex-estate agent, I'm also considering starting my own estate agent and letting a, well, Roger, I'm confused here. So we're opening a coffee shop, an office, an estate agent, and a letting agent from home. And he's writing a book. So yeah, definitely follow one course until successful. Get one in the bag, and then all the things that you do, make sure they fold into your existing empire. Okay, let's keep going. Right, margin. This is the key one, gang. Make sure that anything you do in business, look for margin, because margin allows you to stay in the game. Look, I'm going through this last year, I've seen our business rates go up, the pension costs go up, our utilities go up, our payroll go up. If you're not concentrating on building margin into your business, then how are you going to be able to face all these new costs that come into business? Very, very important that you've got tons and tons and tons of margin in your business. Look for businesses with margin, and it's far easier to invest in your customers. So think if you're Apple and you sell an iPhone, it costs you £100 to make an iPhone, you sell it for £1,000, you've got £900 of margin in there. You go into their shops, it always looks lovely, the staff are great and they've got great customer service. Margin allows them to continue investing in that stuff and not cut corners. So if you haven't got margin, you'll start cutting corners and you'll lose customer face. So margin is one of my top things for growing a business that's going to go fast from 0 to 1 million in sales. The highest possible margin that you can get, guys, because it always gets stolen by the cost of a business, especially when you start going up to the bigger stage. Next thing, guys, that I really think is so important, that you learn to earn. You've got to make sure that you're investing loads of time in learning. Very young age, at 16, I was buying business books. I read all the Dragon's Den books. I read Richard Branson's books. I consumed all that information, and that helped me make better decisions. Now, if I was 16, my God, all the videos and the YouTube and the even more books and the Audible, you've got to consume all this stuff on a constant basis. You've got to make sure you go into events and seminars and learning stuff, because that can really accelerate the growth of your business. Now, what I did is I went out there and made sure I met other successful business owners on a constant basis, and that really helped me grow my sales, because I would just sponge and copy what successful people have done, and I understand that success leaves clues, so learn to earn. Look, one of the big things that I say, for £15, £20, you can get 6 hours consultation with a billionaire by just reading their books or listening to their books on watching interviews on YouTube. You want to get inside Richard Branson's head or Elon Musk's head, then for a little bit of investment on Amazon by buying a book, you're there. You got them in your ears. So make sure you're learning to earn, and it's the right learning from people that are experienced, not theory based, from people that have been there and done it, and make sure that they have been there and done it. Okay? So I wanted to do a little bit on your business value now. Your business value is the management and systems that you build in your business. Your management team could be, well, they are the most valuable thing that will help you grow your business. If you haven't got a management team, then you've built a job. And that's a big big difference. We want to be investing into management in our business and great systems in our business. It's these two things that make people buy franchises. Why would someone happily go and buy a £2 million McDonald's franchise? They're buying a system and a management pack that will help them grow their business, and they attract great management to come and work for them. So management and systems are the thing that builds value in an organization and allows you to carry on growing it at a rate that's quite fast. That's why I like regulated businesses, why I like day nurseries, because Ofsted give you the set of systems that you have to follow by, and that will allow you to give a set of systems to a management team. And what makes a great business is the best possible general manager that you can find. You cannot run a business on entrepreneurship alone. It's entrepreneurship plus management, creating great systems, and that will be the value in your organization. Okay. Now, here's a little thing for you that I wanted to finish on. Look, if you want an excellent company, you've got to demand excellence, because in reality, you'll get good. If you demand good, you'll get average. If you demand average, you'll get poor. And this is from the team that you build around you. You've got to be ultra fussy at demanding excellence to just get a good standard. If you want outstanding, then you'll get excellence. So it's all about positioning yourself as high as possible, because when you employ people, and if you want to build a serious business, you've got to employ people. It's always one rung down. No one will ever demand as much as you, other than a few key players in your organisation. So make sure you demand one up from where you want to be. Now, the last thing that keeps you in the game, it's constant innovation and marketing. When you're growing a business and you get it to £1 million worth of sales, and you want to stay at £1 million worth of sales or keep growing it, because if it isn't growing, it's dying, is the constant innovations that businesses have to take on. If you do not innovate your business, someone else will. And you're seeing this with retail right now. Amazon has innovated retail, and the rest of the guys haven't done it, and they're closing at a rate of knots. So you'll want to make sure that you're constantly innovating your business, and innovating it with good marketing. It's got to be innovative marketing and innovating the product as well. What I think you need to do now, if you want to get to £1 million worth of sales, is you want to be running an operating company and a media company and fusing them together. This is very, very important. That's why I'm doing videos every single day for Entrepreneurs Network. We're a business training organisation and a media company that is marketing that business training organisation on a constant basis. In fact, my time is spent more on the media side of the business than the actual running of the business right now. So that's very, 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 very important. Okay, we've got time for one more question. Let's go, Trace.
Okay, so Lawrence has said, I have a big decision to make. My business is growing fairly quickly. However, I've been working alongside running my business. I want to take it full time. Should I just take the plunge or employ someone to run it whilst I keep my finances in a good position?
Well, I think what I would do, not what you would do, I don't know your personal situation, and I don't want to just answer it on a webinar. For me, I'd already go in and just go for it and build the business and take it. If I believed in myself, if you believe that you can do it, then I would do it. Well, why don't you join the Entrepreneurs Network and chat it through with one of my one-to-one business coaches, and they can help you, map out the success and see what the pitfalls could be, because they speak to entrepreneurs and business owners like you all the time. So, Mark Jones, thanks very much for the presentation, Insight James. If you ever fancy cool tech instead of paper, then let me know. Oh, he's taking the mick out of my flip charts. I'm a flip chart guy, mate. I love my flip charts. But thank you very much. Let's keep in touch, Mark Jones. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Guys, this has been James Sinclair. This has been the 0 to 1 million story in business. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching.
This is Seaweed.
This is Seaweed. It's just to subscribe. Thank you. This is Seaweed. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and watch me every single day, and hopefully learn some stuff to grow your business. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.